I've got these little data here that I've just prepared for this session. It's not that clean enough, but it's good enough for what I want to use it for. Just to give a bit of understanding, I'm going to explain each column. The A column is the countries, the B is the employers, the C is the salary, D is the job roles, E is the job contract type, F, soft skills, the list of them, G, technical skills, and H column, we have the list of websites. Okay, so if you look at this one, this is the F column, you can see how busy it is in this box here. If you are going to share this with somebody else and the person needs to understand what the information is, it will be difficult for them to be able to look at it because it's not really that clear and concise. I have to go into the cells to just click into it. But if you want to make your data clean enough, first thing you should do is if you are at the home button, which you should be in the beginning of when you open up Excel, unless you've moved, you can go to the data section of it, highlight the whole column, and you can see the function just right there. So it's called text to columns. If I click on that, you've got a couple of options. I would rather go with the delimited option, and then you can see here, there's a list of options you're going to get going forward. So this option says characters such as commas or tabs separate each field. If you look into my data, you can see there's a few commas there. So this will be able to split out the information in here for me in different columns. The next point, you click next, and then you can either select any of these options here. You can see as I'm selecting, it's changing. So if I say space, see what it's doing. If I say commas, see what it's going to give me. Semicolons, it's not going to give me anything because I don't have any semicolons. So let's try the commas first. This is the option for commas. If I say finish, it says there's already data here. Do you want to replace it? What it's just trying to tell me is I have data in G and H, and it's going to replace the data. It's fine. For this exercise, I can click on do later. So click OK. Can you see what it's done? So it spaced everything out that was originally in that box. Very easy. To undo this function, I'll go on my keyboard and Control Z, and it brings it back again to how it was before. So I'm going to try another option in that text to column option. So again, I go to that point because I want to separate the commas and the spaces. Click next. And this time, I'm not going to do commas, I'm going to do space. Can you see the option it's giving me now? So it's taking the skill, time, and management because it's only referencing the spaces. You can see there's still commas there. Yeah. So click next, and it shows me exactly how it's going to look like. You can either pick general or you do by text, but I'll stick to general just for these purposes to be able to explain this. Click that. Ask me the same question again he did the last time. I'm fine with it because I can undo it later. Click OK. You can now see what it's done. So he only has taken out the ones that has spaces. So thereby leaving the ones that don't have spaces. So you can see this option is not good enough for me. I'll prefer the one with that will take out the commas. So I'll click Control Z again, undo, go back to text, pick that option, go next. Now click the commas and space. I'm going to use these two options. Click next, it shows me exactly how it's going to look like. Ask me the question again, that's fine. Click OK. Can you now see what's done? It's spaced out everything out for me. So this is why text to column is a very handy tool to have when you have loads of data and you want to just spread it out. You don't want to make your data look clear enough. Okay. Control Z to bring you back because I want to do the next option. Okay, so the next one will be the data validation, another very good tool you need to have in your arsenal. Now, data validation will be able to give you options in a particular cell, and you can reference a whole column or a whole row into one cell. And how you do that is very simple. So again, make sure you're in data and you go to this function here. So it's called data validation just right here. So click into there. Now, what you want to do is you want to have the list option. So click here, you go to the list. Now, in this box, this is where you cell reference your information. If you already have this information somewhere, all you just need to do, in this case, I want to reference the list of countries. So I just click into here and I highlight everything in that column and it says it there and I click on OK. You can see what it's giving me is a dot, there's a drop down arrow here. If I click here, everything is in there. See there. If you don't have the information in there, I'm going to click Command Z again to undo what I've done. I'm going to go to data validation, click there to the list. You can list it in here. Say, for instance, you're a project manager and you are trying to put together your project plan and you want to put your status options. So you can do WIP, which is work in progress, late, complete, completed, not started. And let's put one, let's say pending. I like pending a lot because pending sometimes some things are not started. Just want to say it's pending. Okay, click that. And you can see the same function you can have in here. Now, one thing I like to do when I'm working on, if I have a data validation option in my Excel, I always like to make sure people are aware where that information is and what to do. So this function is a very good tool to help people understand that you have data validation in a place, because I can just do this and no one would know that information is there. And sometimes some people are not that detailed enough to find it. So what I do to help my team or help my colleagues, I'll go into that box. I'll go into home and I would highlight with a color. Now I wouldn't just stop there. I will also do this. I'll go to data validation and I'll click on data first. I'll go to data validation and I will go to input message. And this is a very handy tool when you're working with virtual teams. Send them a document, they don't know what it is about, you can add a few information in there. So I'm going to put in here instructions. And all I'm just going to say is click the below arrow to select the options available. And I'll be nice and say thanks. Yeah, click OK. What that simply means is when I go in here, to see what happens there. So anyone that looks at this and says, oh, this yellow dot is here, what does it mean? I don't understand. Rather than them calling you and speaking to you, they can just go there and that information will pop up. Very handy to have in your arsenal. Okay, now the final one, which is my favorite, the index and match function. Now, the index and match function is a combination of index and match. That's what it is, really. And it's really good that you have this because you can cell reference information anywhere in this table, anywhere. You can cell reference backwards, you can cell reference forwards. It's very handy too. Okay, how to do that? I'm just going to select this. First of all, you need to have a destination. You need to have a destination where you want to go. So I've just zoomed in so we can have a better, more visual experience. So I want to know which country pays has the highest salary, or which country, if I select a country, I want to get the corresponding salary. So I have the salary there. So I want to send a reference here, but I want to do it by country. Okay. So always know this information, you must start from the end, work your way down to the beginning. So the end is I want to know the salaries. What I want to get to is the country that will give me the salaries. Okay, I hope that makes sense. First thing I'll do index, the array where I want to pull out the salaries from. Like I said, you work from the end to the beginning. So I'll select that whole column. I'll comma, and I'll put the match function. I'll hit my space bar. The lookup value. The lookup value, like I said, I want to know the country and I want to know the salary. So lookup value in this case would be Nigeria. Yeah. Okay. And I'll do a comma again. The next ask there would be, what is the lookup array? Nigeria is in here, so I want to get the information. It's in here. So I tap that again and I click down, comma. It asks me, do I want an exact match or greater than or less than? In this case, I want an exact match. So I'll put 0 there and I'll put double colon to close that, hit enter, and you can see Nigeria is giving me that particular figure because that's what I want. I want to know in that particular country, how much salary would I get? Yeah. Okay, so let's pick one more again. This time around, I want to know the job contract type. Put that in there again. And let's just make this more interesting. So I want to know if what role, yeah, if I select any role here, what will be the job contract type? Now, I'm going to use the data validation function so it makes it more easy for us to do this. Remember, we have this here. Remember, we also have, what is the other one? So I can create one more here. So we go to data, validation, click list, click here. I'm going to select all of the rows in here. As I showed you before, click OK. I'm going to do my special function as I always do it. I'm going to make this on yellow. I'm not going to put a description there because this is for the exercise. I'll do that later. Okay, so now I'm going to select project manager. So what I want to get from here is every time I select a different role, I want to know the contract type. Okay, so equals to index. Remember, we're trying to get the contract type. So that will be our destination. That's the end. Okay, so we come here, we highlight everything in here, in that column, do a comma. Now we want to get the exact match. We want to get the job role so that we can get the contract type. So we do the match, lookup value, we're going to reference here, comma, where are we looking for these job roles? They're all in here. And do the comma again, and we're looking for the exact match. So we'll put a 0 and double. You can see. So what that simply means is this. If I go in here and I select BA, you see BA is CM is remote and part-time. If I do web developer, change to remote. Let's see. If I wanted to be a bit, let's just pick this one again. Let's just do project manager. You can see it keeps changing. Every time it keeps changing. Let's just make that green so you can see what I'm saying. So it's green. If I pick CM again, it's remote. CM here is remote. Web developer, let's click on that. Web, see it's remote. So that works. Okay. If I want to be more dynamic, this is why for me, index and match is the best formula to use rather than VLOOKUP. I can make it more complicated, but for this particular exercise, this is where we're going to stop. I hope this is very helpful. See you again in the next session. Thank you. Bye.